The story will be told from the perspective of the main female character.
During the Thanksgiving meal, my sister, Chloe Abbott, rose from her seat. She raised her wine glass and announced, "We took a vote, and you are officially out of the family." The entire dining room erupted. Everyone laughed, and the sound of forks hitting plates suggested they treated my dismissal as a hilarious punchline. Mother was smiling. Father avoided eye contact. I remained seated, perfectly silent and composed. I pulled a file from my purse, putting it on the table. "In that case," I told them, "you won't be needing this." Chloe opened the folder. Her confident expression immediately disappeared. The noise in the room stopped instantly. Before sharing the contents of that file, or explaining why this event changed everything, please click the like button and leave a comment about your location. Have members of your own family ever betrayed you so badly that you simply walked away for good? To outsiders, the Bensons looked like a picture postcard. We had flawless appearances, coordinating clothing, and were the type of people neighbors happily greeted. Behind closed doors, however, we operated on strict control, heavy guilt, and hidden financial obligations. Mom managed the household finances like a corporate executive. Dad maintained harmony by simply never speaking up. My younger sister, Chloe, was the favorite, the golden child who received all the investment. I, Sophia, was always the one responsible for fixing problems. For many years, my job meant secretly paying all the bills they preferred not to mention. I paid for Father's significant dental work after his coverage expired. I paid off Mother's credit card when the debt inexplicably grew. I even paid for Chloe's urgent car repair, which included a suspicious receipt for a weekend spa trip. They never inquired about my well-being. Their only question was whether I could send a money transfer right now. When I bought my first apartment, I hoped it might finally earn some appreciation. Instead, my sister joked that it must be pleasant not having children destroy your credit score. Everyone laughed. I joined in the laughter. My role was always to maintain calm, tolerate the insults, and arrive carrying a bottle of wine. Then one afternoon, Chloe called, speaking with unnatural sweetness. She said she and Michael were launching a new wellness cafe. She just needed me to co-sign a small loan, claiming it wasn't a major commitment. I hesitated. "So you require my signature and my credit score?" I asked. The sudden quiet on the phone confirmed my suspicions. Everything changed after that conversation. My calls went unanswered, straight to voicemail. Relatives started having meals without inviting me. Mother would send ambiguous text messages instructing me not to create tension, reminding me how sensitive my sister was. Father stopped answering my calls completely. Several weeks went by. I observed from a distance as Chloe constantly posted online. New clothes, expensive meals, and using hashtags that referenced eliminating toxic people. It wasn't hard to figure out who she meant. For the first time, I wasn't seeking their acceptance. I sat in my dimly lit condo, reviewing years of bills, payment proofs, and old communications. Every document confirmed the truth. I had functioned as the family's financial safeguard, their alternative option, the silent source of cash. They did not genuinely love me. They relied entirely on me. A worse realization dawned on me amid those facts. They had no intention of thanking me. Their plan was to eliminate me entirely. 3 weeks before the Thanksgiving holiday, Chloe dropped the facade. She unfollowed me online and shared a picture with the caption, "Preserve your peace, even if it means ditching relatives." My mother clicked the heart emoji on the post. My father added a thumbs-up icon. I remember staring at that small, glowing blue symbol until my vision became indistinct. The silence began right after that post. No messages, no news, just the definite feeling that conversations were ongoing, but I was excluded. Eventually, I texted my mother, "Are we planning dinner this year?" She responded several hours later, "Ask your sister. She's hosting." That reply instantly confirmed something was wrong. Chloe had never organized any major event without my involvement. I was always the one planning every birthday cake, arranging the seating, and preparing the grocery lists. I was the invisible hand behind every celebration. But this time, She hadn't contacted me for a single recipe, nor asked me to bring my high-quality wine glasses. Nothing. A week later, Dad visited my place to check in. He stood near the entrance, seemingly afraid to enter my apartment. He said, "You know how your sister is. She thinks you've been standoffish lately." I laughed bitterly. "I'm distant because I stopped funding her businesses." He fidgeted uncomfortably. "Perhaps you should apologize," he suggested. "It would mean a lot to your mother." At that moment, I understood. He wasn't there to support me, he was just delivering a message from them. I spent that whole evening at my kitchen counter. I surrounded myself with financial records, bank transfer confirmations, bills, and printed text messages. This covered 5 years of assistance, 5 years of being useful but never valued. Between the numbers and the paper, an idea formed. They would never acknowledge what they did, but I could force them to face it. So I began organizing the paperwork. This wasn't driven by resentment, but by clear-headedness. I generated chronological timelines, meticulously labeled all transactions, and even printed several damning screenshots. One showed Chloe referring to me as a walking credit card in a family group chat that I wasn't supposed to see. The next morning, I called my attorney, Richard. I inquired about the process for removing my name from my parents' long-term financial agreements, documents I had signed years ago to assist them. As we concluded the call, he stated, "It sounds like you are finally prioritizing yourself." That sentence affected me more deeply than I expected. For the first time, someone affirmed that I was worth defending. As the week progressed, invitations were distributed for the Thanksgiving dinner. Everyone received one except me. But I didn't require an invitation. I already knew the date, the time they would gather, and the lies they would celebrate with. Quietly and deliberately, I decided I would attend anyway. I wouldn't arrive with a gift or a bottle of wine. I would arrive with the truth. The night before the holiday, my apartment resembled a tactical command center, not a home. Papers were spread across the tabletop, proof of payments, wire transfers, invoices, and text communications. 5 years of evidence proving I had supported everyone while they framed me as the source of conflict. My emotion was no longer anger. It was clinical precision. Each page was placed into a neat stack, sealed inside a thick folder designed to make a definite sound when it was put down. I tucked the folder into my tote bag. I looked at my reflection in the window, the calm expression of a woman who had finally stopped asking for their approval. That morning, I woke before my alarm. I skipped makeup and jewelry. I put on a gray coat, simple hair, and kept my breathing steady. The air outside was sharp and cold. I was there not to start a confrontation, but to end one. By noon, I drove past the bakery. It was our family's usual Thanksgiving stop. I used to order, pay for, and drop off all the pies early. Today, the window displayed the tarts, but my name was not on any receipt. I parked near the house. I saw the same wreath and the golden leaves. For a moment, my old instinct returned, the urge to apologize and fix things. But that person was gone. I walked through the open door like a forgotten guest. Laughter came from the dining room, my sister's sharp, confident laugh. She saw me first. Her smile faltered. "You actually came," she said, her voice overly sweet. "Wouldn't miss it," I replied. Dinner began like always. Small talk, fake warmth, careful glances at me. Under the table, my fingers brushed the folder in my bag. It held everything they had taken for granted. Mom leaned over and whispered, "Let's not make this tense, okay?" I smiled slightly. "Oh, don't worry," I said. "Tense won't be the word." I looked at the perfect table and the laughter that used to hurt me. I felt only calm. Tomorrow, they would remember this dinner forever. The holiday table looked perfect, like a picture. Amber candles, golden plates, everything polished. But under the lights, the air felt heavy. I sat between Father's silence and Mother's forced smile. Every word felt rehearsed. Halfway through the meal, my sister stood up. She raised her glass. "Before the turkey," she announced, looking at me, "we have news. We voted and you're not family anymore." At first, silence. Then everyone laughed. The sound was loud like bad applause. Bate clapped awkwardly. Michael grinned but looked away. Mother chuckled. Well, she said, smoothing her napkin, it needed to be said. I looked at them all, people I had paid for and helped. Something inside me went still. I felt clarity, not anger. I leaned back and folded my hands. I spoke softly. Then I guess you won't need this. I took the folder from my bag and placed it in the center of the table. The sound of paper hitting wood silenced the room. My sister maintained her glossy smile. What is this? Why don't you look inside? I suggested. She grabbed it, tearing it open. The first page wiped her smile away. The next page drained her color. By the third, her hands were shaking. What is this? She whispered. Proof, I told her. Her eyes jumped between Mom, Dad, Michael, and me. You're sick, you're obsessed. Michael frowned, pulling the folder. Wait, what's the Malibu Beach Hotel stay? Michael, stop, she hissed. He flipped a page. Who is Tiffany? The name hit the silence hard. My sister's face twisted. You had no right, no right. To be called a walking credit card. I cut in, my voice level. To be lied to while you claimed I was the problem. Mother pushed her chair back. Sophia, dear, just calm down. I am calm, I said. I've been calm my whole life while you drain me dry. Father spoke for the first time. You are making this situation too big. No, Dad, I replied. You made it small. Every time you watched her use me and said nothing, you minimized it. Every time Mom said she was just sensitive, you made it smaller. Until tonight, when your silence became applause. The room was silent. Only the clock ticked. My sister jumped up, her chair scraping. You think you're a hero, you're just bitter because no one needs you now. I met her eyes. No, I am finally done pretending I need you. I stood up slowly, knowing all eyes were on me. You called me cold, distant, selfish for years, but who paid your bills? Who helped when Michael lost his job? Who kept the lights on here? I looked at them. It was my money, not love, holding this family together. Mom went pale. That is not fair. No, I stated sharply. Fair would have been a thank you. Fair would have been not voting me out. Michael kept reading the pages, each one heavy. This is true, he asked quietly. It is all true, I said. He stared at my sister. You said she was lying. You said she was jealous. My sister stammered, her voice cracking. I did it for us. For us, he snapped. You stole from her, you cheated, you lied to everyone. Stop, Mother shouted, her voice breaking. I looked at her. She couldn't hold my gaze. What hurts most, I said, is realizing I could disappear tomorrow and you wouldn't feel grief, only inconvenience. The silence returned. A fork fell to the floor. I pulled a small envelope from my coat pocket. One more thing, I said. What now? Father sighed. Power of attorney, I said. It's revoked. Medical, financial, emergency contact, I am out. Mom gasped. You're cutting us off. I smiled, small and tired. My sister laughed bitterly. Walking away makes you pathetic. No, I said quietly. It makes me free. I pushed my chair in. The scrape cut the silence. You wanted a show, I said, grabbing my coat. You got it. No one stopped me. Outside, the cold felt like clean air. Behind me, voices rose, anger, denial, but they sounded far away. I looked through the window once more. My sister was crying. Mom's face was hidden. Dad sat there, finally seeing what he ignored. I turned and walked down the steps. I did not look back. It was closure, not revenge. I no longer felt like the quiet problem. The next morning, my phone exploded. Calls, voicemails, texts piled up, Mom first. You went too far, Sophia, that wasn't right. Dad, you made your point, let's fix this. My sister texted later, a flood of apologies and accusations. You don't understand, Michael left, he took Ellie. Are you happy? I read every text once, then archived them. My hands were steady. Silence felt like armor. I spent weeks making changes. I changed banks, froze, shared documents, updated contacts. I visited the lake where Dad took me fishing. The water was silver and still. I sat for an hour just breathing. No noise, no guilt, no chaos, just peace. By Christmas, I had moved. The new apartment was smaller and quiet. No family chats, no requests for money, no calls laced with guilt. Just mornings with coffee and real quiet. A week later, Bate texted, "I'm sorry for clapping. I didn't know. You were always the one who showed up." I didn't reply, but I smiled. It was enough. Mom's final letter came. 3 words, "We're still family." I folded it, put it in the trash, and whispered, "Not anymore." I cooked dinner alone. 1 plate, 1 glass of wine. No drama, no pretending. Just the hum of the heater and my fork against the plate. I wasn't waiting for approval. I wasn't waiting for the next crisis. I set my phone down, looked at the city lights, and felt peace. They called me cold and unloving. Maybe I am, but I prefer peace alone than being surrounded by people who only loved what I gave them. If you walked away from family to survive, I understand. You are healing, not heartless. Tell me where you are listening from. Share and subscribe. Letting go is often winning.